Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aquarius energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because it's not a personal reading. And some people in the world harness high vibe Aquarius energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Aquarius energy, and some people harness shadowy Aquarius energy. We all tap into Aquarius energy, and if you're someone who harnesses high vibe Aquarius, you have hope and faith and belief in your dreams, you look at life from a higher perspective, you're not more consumed maybe with yourself and your ego and your image and money and materialism because you believe there's a higher truth and justice to aspire to in the world, like love. You might realize you've dealt with some other people in the world who aren't on the same page as you. And it's just to see the truth of it. We can't have our dreams come into reality if the priority of the foundation we want to build our life upon is love and respect and treating other people the way you like to be treated, not everybody's on that same page as you. And the truth sets us free to get out of our ego about it, accept the truth of it, and go enjoy it, take the lessons we learned, and go live our life. So, the overarching reason for the reading is the Justice card. High vibe people want just and fair and balanced relationships where there is equal give and take, that people respect that you're your own individual, you have your own dreams, your own creative, imaginative ways of being and things that you want to accomplish in your life. Sometimes when we get in relationships with people who are kind of shadowy, they want us to give up our dreams and make our life like all about them. Because they think it's just and fair to be more just about themselves. They had a certain way that they viewed life, and the way they viewed life could have been it's more about them. Instead of realizing that we're both two individuals who have our own aspirations and dreams. So, let's turn the camera just a little bit. What is going on in Aquarius energy? The Page of Cups. Why? Because of the Knight of Cups. High vibe people have that kind of hopeful, believing spirit. They kind of let their more hopeful, believing inner child nature out to play. They're open, they're honest, they're authentic. They have a dream. They're offering love to other people in their life to move forward with them. And they're also people who have offered peace to the past. I've offered love to the past to accept the fact that not everybody's motivated and inspired by the same things I am. Not everybody's dream relationship is a just and fair, warm, authentic, loving relationship. You have to be willing to do love to do that. And some people aren't there yet. You know, we've all got lessons to learn in life. We all have our worldly nature, which is our more fearful, insecure, prideful, defensive, materialistic, indulgent, immature nature. Life's about learning these lessons in life to be open to giving and receiving love and loving ourselves, offering love to ourselves, our own inner child nature, offering peace to the past, working our way through it to see the truth that everybody is where they're at. Not everybody is very just and fair and loving. People have a lot of things that manipulate and control them, that prevent them from being a more just and fair and loving person. And it's accepting that. I accept the truth of that. Everybody's got free will. It takes a lot of work and effort to free yourself from the things that manipulate you. And I've learned that. So I wish you peace. I'm moving on. And you're offering a cup of love to who wants to come with. Who wants to move forward in this more just and fair and loving way. I'll treat you with love and respect and treat you the way I want to be treated. Who wants to treat me that way too? Together we can move forward in workplaces, in friendships, in romantic relationships. So then we have the Three of Swords, the Aquarius Star card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Cups. Through this whole experience, people have learned to stand up for themselves and what they believe in. You know, we come into contact with all these different people in the world to help us get clear about what our truth is. And we have a lot of growing and maturing and healing to do ourselves. And we could have gotten ourselves in some relationships where we learned some painful lessons. We could have been heartbroken that some people didn't have the same dream we had. Those people could have been heartbroken that we didn't have the same dream they have. And maybe part of it has to do with our Nine of Wands energy, which is Sagittarius energy. In shadow, Sagittarius energy can be our more immature nature. I'm heartbroken. I want my dreams to come into reality, but I haven't healed from my past pain and heartbreak. So I'm looking to all these things to make me feel better. And I'm going to indulge in all these things, even if some of the things I want to indulge in to make me feel better is a romantic relationship. Other people might pick drugs or booze, and, we've probably all been there too, whichever one was what we indulged in to make us feel better. But high vibe Sagittarius is where it's like, I've lived my life a certain way and it didn't turn out the way I wanted. And I've kind of seen the truth that if I want my dreams to come into reality, I have to wrap my brain around this game of life, because high vibe Sagittarius is about higher learning and education. I am inspired to, the only person I can change in the world is me. And maybe my own past pain and heartbreak has affected how I've been in relationships and the type of people I got in relationships with. And maybe I was repeating some old patterns because I hadn't yet healed. And so I think that is part of why we are drawn and attracted to certain people, is because we have lessons to learn from them. And there could be some unresolved pain, heartbreak, self-limiting beliefs. We haven't learned to stand up for ourselves or love ourselves and believe in our dreams. And we'll get in relationships with some people who are happy that we live our life that way because they maybe live their life that way too. We're on the same page. But then as we go through that relationship, as time goes by, we could see that some of the people are kind of more defensive. They do have that pain and heartbreak or self-limiting beliefs or fears or insecurities or aligned with their more worldly nature of looking like a shining star in the world. And then we could kind of realize that I want to dump some of my baggage, We all got some fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs that we've been carrying with us at any given moment in time. And when some people are in those relationships where they could have gotten in a new beginning, they were kind of inspired to do that work within themselves. Whatever pain and heartbreak I've carried with me, I want to release that. I want, in my high vibe Aquarius energy, to be free of it. So I'm going to put life in perspective. High vibe Aquarius, I'm going to look at life from a higher perspective. I know I have the things that manipulate me. Other people I've dealt with in their life have the things that manipulated them. Their pain, their heartbreak, their fears, their insecurities, getting caught up in the world or addiction or themselves or whatever. And when I do this work within myself to start to free myself in the Wheel of Fortune, to go with the flow, to offer myself love, to heal, because high vibe Aquarius is about healing. And when I put it in that perspective, I can have a lot more compassion for the people in my past. When you do the work to heal yourself from what manipulates you and your own past pain and heartbreak and your fears and your insecurities and your more immature, indulgent nature or your whatever shadowy nature you might have, you can understand maybe why some other people didn't free themselves from it, because it takes a lot of work and effort. You do have to kind of be determined to free yourself and love yourself and believe that you deserve to have your dreams come into reality and not let past pain and heartbreak or your fear, living more from your mind than your heart, and all those things run your life. And you realize how hard it is. So then you can have more compassion for people in your life that maybe didn't free themselves from those things, because it does take a lot of work and effort. And in high vibe Sagittarius energy, you have to have a lot, learn to love and respect yourself, to protect yourself and stand up for yourself And like, I am not going to let the past and other people in my life who might have been hurtful, unkind, selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, whatever they were, keep me from believing in my dreams. I'm going to do the work to free myself from it. And I'm not going to let my own fears and insecurities, my mind, like trying to protect me from being hurt, make me so defensive that my dreams can't come into reality. I'm going to work through those things because I don't want to be defensive, and I don't want those things within me or the past or other people in my life to manipulate me, to keep me defensive. I just want to have good boundaries. And good boundaries is kind of wrapping your brain around all those life lessons that you've learned. Okay, I've dealt with people who are immature and impulsive. I might have been immature and impulsive at the same time, but I don't want to be in relationships with people who are like that anymore. And so then I can't be that type of person. If I've been in a relationship with people who are defensive and I've realized I don't like being in a relationship with people like that, I also have to have good boundaries not to indulge myself in relationships with people who might have these kind of ways of being that I've already realized are the type of people I don't enjoy being in a relationship with. Why am I drawn and attracted to those people? I might be drawn and attracted to those people because maybe I'm used to being in relationships with people like that. Maybe I haven't healed. Maybe I haven't learned to love myself, believe in myself. Well, damn it, I'm going to figure it out because I don't want to keep doing it. I don't need, it's kind of like learning to be your own best mother, father, coach voice to your own inner child. I don't need someone else to love me or validate my worth and value. I'm going to love me and validate my worth and value. And then, because I think otherwise, I think we're drawn and attracted to people because we have lessons to learn from them. I've already learned lessons from people who act certain ways in the world that if I don't heal from it, I'm going to still be trying to get people who subconsciously might remind me of other people in my life who I could have felt rejected by or hurt by, to try to convince those people to love me. That's my dream. My inner child was wounded. I want you to love me because I've been wounded. Nine of Wands, wounded warrior. I was like, nope, not anymore. I'm going to learn to love me. I don't need people who are prideful, egotistical, immature, impulsive, prideful, defensive, whatever. I don't need to try to convince you to live your life differently or to validate me that I'm loving by becoming a loving person. I'm going to see the truth. You're defensive to going with the flow and operating from love, because if you were that type of person, you would already be that type of person. And I'm going to quit trying to convince people who are defensive to do love. I'm going to go find the people in the world who have already done this work within themselves, who are motivated and inspired by love. And, also the other thing it could be is we all have free will about how we envision life and how we want to live our life. And everybody kind of, that's how they view life. That's how the type of relationships they want to be in, the kind of employee dynamics and workplaces they want to have. And it could be anywhere on the spectrum. I want to live more from my mind than my heart. I want to find someone who's defensive, who will keep staying in a relationship with me, even if you're a loving, nurturing, supportive person. If I'm defensive or prideful or egotistical or live more from my mind than my heart, more about me, egotistical, self-centered, whatever, that's who I'm looking for. Well, it's not going to be me. I hope you find that person, but it's not going to be me. If you want to live more from your mind than your heart, make it shadowy Aquarius. It's all about them. Everybody else in this relationship should put aside their pride and ego, but never me. I'm the star of the show. I'm the most important person here. Okay, you need to find someone else to work here or be your friend or be in a romantic relationship with me, because I believe in equal give and take, justice, fairness, balance. It's not all about you. Shadowy Aries energy doesn't mean you're dealing with an Aries. We all harness Aries energy. Some people harness shadowy Aries energy, where it's more about them. They had their idea of the dream life. Could have been more about them. They're defensive to love. I get hurt doing love. I've decided I want to live more from my mind than my heart. I haven't healed maybe from past pain and heartbreak, so I've kind of maybe a little more immature, like we've all been at different times in our life. And some of those people are still there and they're still defensive. Instead of doing that work within themselves to see the truth about some past pain and heartbreak, how they contributed to that, some of those relationships not working out because they had growing and maturing to do, how some of the people they were dealing with were kind of immature and had some growing and healing to do. Instead of seeing the truth of any of it, they could have just stayed in denial or not kind of learning that lesson that not everybody's like other people. You have to listen to your intuition about people, but some people just got in their ego and defensive nature and said, no, that's it, I'm done. I don't trust anyone anymore. It's like, okay, I hope that works out for you. I'm moving on. And then we have this card not showing itself because of the Knight of Swords. The other people might want to keep rejecting harnessing this energy in a high vibe way. We either can choose to align with our more hopeful, believing, loving nature, or we can reject it and say, no, I'm going to keep being defensive. I've been hurt before. I'm going to keep maybe making it more about me and my defensive nature in relationships. Or I don't value love as much as I value these things of the world that I want to indulge in. If that's money and materialism and status and image or just indulging myself, they have the free will to live their life whatever way they want. But if you're not on the same page as them, I mean, there's going to be other people who defend them because that's how they live their life too, and that's fine. It's just that if that's not our truth and how we want to live our life, or we've healed, or we've grown, or we've matured, or, a little more bold and brave and confident, maybe just believe in a higher truth and justice to aspire to than just ourself or the things of the world, the high vibe people are speaking their truth. And I think some of the people in the world who aren't willing to do that, and that could be what's holding some people back. In order to move forward with, we have to see the truth, and we have to stand in our truth and speak our truth. We're living our life differently. I'm not the same person I was before. Whatever it was that used to manipulate me, my fear, my insecurity, my pride, my ego, my immature nature, the world, some of those things, whatever it was, don't manipulate me like they used to. And some of the people in your life that you wanted to move forward with did want to move forward with you too, but they're maybe not willing to defend doing the just and fair thing. Over here with the Justice card, we have the Six of Wands and the Sun card, both Leo cards, which in high vibe talks about, I have to take this inspired action and do this work within myself to get out of my more defensive or egoic or immature or worldly view of life, to be illuminated to the truth that maybe I am tipped out of balance. Maybe I have let these things manipulate me, that it's tipped me out of balance, where I don't maybe treat people the way I like to be treated. And they'd have to illuminate the truth to bring justice to a situation and get themselves in balance. Some people just don't want to speak the truth that they'd have to speak. The King and Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords, is a messenger of the King and Queen of Swords. And that would mean, we take certain action in our life to stand up for ourselves, loving ourselves, believing in ourselves, requiring justice and fairness in relationships. And if we're kind of aligned with our more whatever nature, where we haven't like learned to love ourselves, can be more codependent, could be more materialistic, it could be ego, whatever it is. We probably have people in our life that are happy that we live our life like that because they live their life like that. And we'll stay in friendships, and we'll stay at that job, and we'll stay in that romantic relationship with them. And it can be hard to stand up for ourselves and speak our truth. How many of you stayed in situations where you're kind of heartbroken and felt defensive, but you stayed in it because you didn't want to speak your truth? I think, you can stand up for what you believe in, and you don't like have to tell people that you disagree with their way of life, because really they have the free will to live their life whatever way they want. You can let your actions speak volumes. And to me, that looks like a man. And the masculine figures in tarot talk about taking action in the world, and we all take action in masculine energy. But what is the truth of how we feel internally, emotionally about it? And it has to do with this card. People harness this energy in a different way. Ah, the Lover's card. Well, let's see. Let's see. The Knight of Swords. Okay. The Knight of Swords and the Lover's card are both Gemini energy. And Gemini is a mutable sign, but it's also meaning it can help us transition from one phase of life to another phase of life as we go through life and we kind of grow and mature ourselves. It helps us transition out of certain phases of life. So does the Knight of Wands, but so does Pisces. Let's see, what about Leo? No, not Leo. But Gemini is a dualistic sign that we all tap into. It's also represented by the Magician and... oh, shoot, I just had this come up earlier. Let's see. Oh, well, I can't think of it right now. But the Magician card anyway. And the Magician card is Gemini and Virgo energy, which is kind of earth sign energy. And it's kind of like, am I willing to align with my more loving nature, intuitive nature to guide me? Do I think I can work with that to manifest my dreams into reality if I put in work and effort along with love and intuition to guide me? Or should I align with my more worldly nature and put in work and effort using more aligning with the things of the world, thinking those are more important than my intuition or love to guide me, and I work more with the world? And we can get in relationships with people, and it can go good for a long time, but there can come a point where we realize in our Gemini nature kind of more what the truth is of what at a core foundational level we align with. And we didn't know that. So the other people thought, well, I thought if we got in a relationship, I thought it was about getting in a relationship. We've both been hurt before. We want to move forward in something, victorious and successful. And, we get along, pretty good and all that good stuff. But I didn't really think that we had to do love, and that we have hope and faith and belief in our dreams. I kind of gave up on believing in my dreams a long time ago, maybe, and I don't even want to do that because I get hurt. I'd rather more live from my mind and my heart than my heart. And, we get along. This works. We should stay in it. But the other people are really more motivated by love. And it's like, even though these things look really great and looks really victorious in a lot of ways, is it love? Is that why we're in it? Or were we both heartbroken and kind of defensive? And of course, it's a conundrum that human beings have, is we want to have these certain things in our life. Like we might want to get married, might want to have children. What if the people that we do feel really might be more on the same page as us, those people aren't in our life, but there is someone who we could have a lot of commonality with? There's a lot of things that work about the relationship, but kind of at a core level, what we're driven and motivated by is different. Well, I think over time, the people that are more motivated by love could end up being more bothered by the fact that they feel like it could be maybe more realizing the other person might be more motivated by ego and image and the money and the materialism than love, and they're okay staying in it that way, but you're not okay staying in it that way. And we all could have went through a phase of life just that we were on the same page, just like whatever, when we're younger, we're more immature and indulgent. We're in a relationship, we love each other, it's like immature and indulgent. And then maybe we just want the relationship to grow and mature itself. And kind of, can we move out of this phase and kind of go to a little bit more less immature and impulsive, and later maybe a little more mature, and we go to the next phase of life, and the other person's like, what? I like living my life like this. Why are you wanting to do that? Well, I just thought that was like the natural progression. It's like, who said? I think this is fine. And it is fine if they want to live their life that way. But if we're like, well, I wasn't planning to live my life like this forever. It's just kind of a phase of life. Just like when I was 20, when I was 15, I did this. When I was 18, I did that. When I was 21, I did that. We go through these phases of life, but I didn't plan to stay in that phase of life forever. And the other person's like, I was. And, that's when we find out that, even in friendships, well, gosh, I love you and I'd like to keep moving forward with you, but, I kind of have these other new things that I kind of want to go start enjoying in life instead of doing this all the time. Do you want to go with me? It's like, no. It's like, okay. But at a bigger level of something more complicated, from the 9 of Wands to the 6 of Wands, we have to let go of the 3 of Wands. A certain way that we viewed life, relationships, the workplace, how we thought everybody would act and function in it. Everybody had their own idea. If I'm in a friendship, if I'm in a romantic relationship, if I'm in a workplace, I thought it was going to be like this. This is how I thought it was going to pan out. And the other person's like, really? I thought it was going to pan out like this. And we can work together with people for quite a long time. But in high vibe, it is, are you willing to keep moving forward, having like hope and faith and belief, facing your fears, facing your insecurities, dealing with whatever within you makes you defensive, like to change, just to face your fears and deal with them. And for some people, though, it's just, well, I don't like to be just and fair. I kind of like being more about myself and it being more about me, or me being in my ego, or people indulging me. And that can be their view of life. And if they want to be indulged in their ego and that's how they think is the just and fair dream life, well, then they just need to find somebody who agrees with them. And some of you didn't. And I think you're standing up for what you believe in. And this is how I want to live my life. You want to live your life that way? Okay. We both have our ideas of what we envision as the dream life, and they're different. So high vibe people, I think, end up getting to a place of balance about it. reconcile myself with the fact that we have different dreams. We're motivated and inspired by different things. I might see you as immature. I might think that you have some issues to deal with. I might find you defensive, and I might think that you kind of think if you say something's just and fair, you think it's just and fair, even though other people don't think it's just and fair. Why would we be so afraid of change? Sometimes the people who are really afraid of change is because they benefit from it not changing, which might mean they're kind of in a more, well, they're benefiting in some way from things staying the way they are. And so they don't want to change. It might have to be that they'd have to let go of their more defensive nature and be a little more hopeful and believing. Maybe they'd have to work through some of their past pain and heartbreak that makes them defensive and do the inner work to free themselves of it. And that all takes work and effort. And some people are like, I don't want to do it. I'll just go find someone else to be in a relationship with who is more on the same page as me, or willing to indulge me, or lives life like I live life. And I think they'll keep repeating a pattern, being that way. Whatever issues make them defensive to growing, maturing, or healing, or being open to giving and receiving love, are going to keep impacting their relationships. And they might end up finding more people being defensive to them. You know, it takes time being in a relationship. And again, we can all generally find probably some people that want to be in a relationship because things hadn't worked out with some previous relationship, and people are heartbroken and they're defensive, and they want to be in relationships, and so then they get in relationships, and then we can end up finding out these problems. And I think a thing that some high vibe people wrap their brain around was that if I take action, instead of doing this work within myself to get myself balanced and get out of my more fearful, insecure, codependent nature and learn to love and believe in myself, I'm going to repeat a past pattern. Because I think the whole thing is we have the free will choice to take action in truth and love and balance, loving ourselves, believing in ourselves, or in our more worldly nature of self. But I want what I want, and I'm heartbroken, and I'm sad, and I'm defensive, and I want to feel better. Well, yeah, you can go do that. It's probably just, if that's your intention, it probably isn't going to work out the way you think. You might end up getting in relationships with some other people that's why they're getting in a relationship. And if instead we get out of our ego, we do the healing work, we get balance within ourselves, we maintain balance within ourselves so we don't kind of drive our life off into the ditch, then hopefully, we'll meet some other people in the world who've done the same thing, and then we're free to get ourselves in a relationship with someone who's on the same page as us, and we're both not involved with other people. There's some people right now that some of you could have communicated with when you got yourself out of whatever past relationship you could have gotten out of, and you could have said, I learned some lessons. I'm moving on. I'm ready to have a new beginning. Anybody that you meet or someone from your past that, do you want to move forward with me in this way? And some of those people could be like, shit, when it didn't work out in the past, or you lived your life, I lived my life, maybe we never even dated, I was kind of wounded and heartbroken too, and I got myself in a situation, and by worldly standards it looks really victorious and successful, and I look like my dreams are going to come into reality, or that my dreams have come into reality. And some of those people also are in some mismatched relationships. And they right now could be wounded and unhappy. Well, are they going to stay, or it's just the way they're living their life, Shit, I've been kind of indulging in these things, whichever way I have been. now I have an opportunity to move forward, and you could even look at this as like we had a job that didn't work out, and then another employer is looking for people to come work for them, and it's like, oh shit, I got myself involved in this or living my life this way, or I took a different job. Shoot, that would be great. But when it's a romantic interest, that's when our ego can really get into play, because some people could have been wounded and heartbroken. Someone offered them a cup of love to move forward with them. Looks victorious and successful. Looks like they got everything that they could want. But are they in it for the right reasons? Does their pride and ego keep them in it? Is the person who they're in relationship with a loving, warm person, but it's really not aligned with their truth, even though they could be a loving, warm person? Are they in a relationship with someone who's kind of prideful and egotistical and manipulative and think it's just and fair to be more about them? Are they the person who thinks it's just and fair to be more about them and they found someone who's indulging them in their ego? That's the thing we don't know sometimes. And there could be some people that, as you people are moving forward in life, could have communicated with, and they're not communicating back with you. And you could have viewed them as this just and fair and loving person. And for some of them, they have seen the truth. They have looked at life from a higher perspective. They're in a loving, victorious relationship, and they're defending it as well they should. And we just need to accept the truth of that. So the whole thing is, sometimes when we meet people, we don't know where they're at. They're either in a loving relationship. It's this wonderful relationship. Of course they shouldn't get out of that relationship. And, you can meet people, know people at work. You don't know if they're in a relationship or not. Other people, whatever life situation they're in, the whole thing is just the truth sets us free. Don't get in your ego about it. If there's people who are defensive to communicating with you, there's something about you guys not being on the same page. And don't get up in your ego about it. Don't be chasing after people. Just stand in your truth. If you communicate your truth to people once, well, then the ball's in their court. And if those people aren't communicating with you, then it's like, okay, well, we must not be on the same page. Because we also have to take into account that sometimes when people are defensive to us, they might want to be in a relationship with you, but they don't want to do it the way you want to do it. And they're hoping if they stay defensive to you, doing whatever they're doing in their life, that you'll kind of give up on believing in your dreams and you will keep communicating with them. And they're like, okay, they must not love and believe in themselves. So I guess we can do it my way, right? So I get to live more from my mind than my heart and be defensive, maybe kind of immature, maybe more about me because you don't love and believe in yourself and believe in your dreams, that you keep chasing after me in a way. And there's some people in the world that are falling for that and doing that because they're not willing to give up a dream with someone who's been defensive to them in some way. And it can be hoping to change people's minds. It could be hoping that they've grown and matured, or that they will grow and mature, or some of the shadowy people are moving forward in a new relationship just because they're mad that other people had good boundaries to them. Screw you. You're this loving, authentic, balanced person who believes in your dreams. Well, I found someone else to indulge me in my ego, and I think that's just and fair. It's like, you go, cowboy, cowgirl. I've seen the truth of who you are, and I don't want to be in a relationship with you anyway. So you go do you, and you live your life the way you think is just and fair. And I'm going to go live my life the way I think is just and fair. And, some people you do know the truth about because when you did this work within yourself to love and believe in yourself, and you were probably offering love and encouragement to them, they were defensive. And it's like, why are you being defensive? And it's like, and that's when it was kind of like, oh, it's kind of more about you. You want the scales kind of tipped in your favor. That's what you view as a just and fair way of living life. It's more about you than two people working cooperatively together or something like that. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Aquarius energy that they might not see coming up? The Emperor, because of the Seven of Swords. So, this was a process when we went through painful experiences in our life and trying to heal and grow and mature ourselves. Over time, what you don't see coming if you're not there already is that you're really going to boss up in your life because of having dealt with people that in their Aquarius energy, regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are, you realize that you just helped you get more clear about what your truth is, and that what some people think is the dream life is not your dream life. And even though it could have caused you a lot of mental conflict, it helped you get clear about your truth and to love and believe in yourself and stand up for what you believe in. And you're not letting any people who might in your life have been deceptive and manipulative in some way, or made you feel deceived and manipulated, even though they're just living their truth and your truth is different than their truth or something. You're not going to let that stand in your way and keep you up in your head about it. You're going to keep listening to your intuition and believing in your dreams. Your dreams aren't codependent on a certain person. Your dreams are, about working with people who are on the same page as you. So it's like, thank you for showing me you were not on the same page. So I didn't spend another hour, week, month, decade, year with you, And I'm glad I see the truth, because there probably could have been some things going on within it, but it can be hard to leave because we really wanted it to work and we wanted the dream to come into reality, and we love those people. We wanted them to keep moving forward with us. But then something could have happened where we couldn't stay in denial of the truth anymore, and we had to deal with the truth of it, and we did. It's like, I choose to be in life-giving energy. I'm going to give myself the things that I wish other people would have given me. I wish you peace. I think you got maybe some hard lessons to learn if you're acting in these shadowy ways. If you're living a wonderful, loving life, a wonderful peace to you. But irregardless, I'm moving forward in my life, not being in my ego about it. I'm not going to stay in heartbroken, defensive energy just because other people broke my heart. I just see that, we weren't on the same page. It's not going to make me give up my dreams. I'm going to keep maintaining balance within myself, loving myself, believing in my dreams, and I'm going to take this action in my life to bring those dreams into reality. And I think as you move forward, there's going to be other people in the world who are on the same page as you that want to be in a relationship with you. And, you've learned all these lessons in life, and that some people just want to be the next person to indulge in a relationship with you. And I think, people can be loving, giving, open, authentic people, but they're not going to move forward and have a new beginning with just anybody. Wait right there before you go any further. Let me tell you. I think that's, who is that? Will you love me forever? Do you need me? Will you never leave me? Are you gonna for the rest of my life? Take me slow, can you make me your wife? I'm kinda, wonder if it's Meatloaf. The singer Meatloaf from back in the day. Stop right there. Wait. I might have love for you, and I might have offered a cup of love to you, but, I need to find out the truth of what you're aligned with within yourself. Have you dealt with your past pain and heartbreak? Are you still a defensive person, or are you a defensive person? Are you an egotistical person? Are you an immature person? Are you all about yourself? Are you egotistical and prideful? Do you think you should be indulged in a relationship? Not just anyone is coming over here, and I think you've learned High Vibe Seven of Swords is I'm listening to my intuition. I'm no longer in my ego. It's kind of like, God, what do you think about what this person is saying? And in the past, our intuition could have kind of been screaming in our ear, like, I don't think you should do this. I think there's something wrong. I think we've been here before, but we did it anyway, and we've learned those lessons. It's like, not anymore. Hi, I'm listening to my intuition. My dreams cannot come into reality, or the next phase of life and the people I'm going to hang out with for a significant maybe period of time in my life. I need to know that they are balanced within themselves, that they have been illuminated to the truth of how to play nice with others, that they don't operate from their egoic nature and their defensive nature and their prideful nature. And those, I think it's saying that other people have been waiting for someone like you to come up the pike, because they've dealt with people like that too. There's all these, probably 50% of people in the world that could be single have learned those lessons, and they're waiting for someone else who's learned those lessons to come along. Okay, what's coming up for the people who might harness a more, that's too many, a more shadowy or worldly Aquarius energy that they might not see coming up? The Emperor, if this was work related, you could go get a new job somewhere and you meet someone. The Emperor can mean like a boss, or just someone who's like a good leader in their own life that you meet at work. Otherwise, it just means it is Aries energy. For some of you, it could be an Aries, but it's really just someone who's harnessing high vibe Aquarius, Aries, Leo, and Libra energy, and in Gemini energy, aligned with their more hopeful, believing, loving nature, who's making good decisions in their life. What's coming up for the people with a more worldly, shadowy Aquarius energy that they might not see coming up? The Devil. Because of the Ten of Cups. So the whole idea is that when we're not taking decisions in truth and love and justice and fairness and love and belief in ourselves, we got some lessons to learn. And we've all been there. And that's why there's a key on either side. Whichever path we take in life, it's not to belittle and berate ourselves and, oh my gosh, I was wrong, blah, blah. Just learn the lesson you're meant to learn. There's lessons to be learned no matter which way you go. But if you want to increase your odds, don't repeat an old past pattern. Do the healing work. Deal with the truth. Try to, whatever. You'll figure it out on your own. But it probably means that the devil's going to come into their life if they're kind of operating from a shadowy way, which can be, I think it's just and fair for it to be more about me, my wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego, my fear, my insecurity, my bossy controlling nature, my materialistic nature, whatever. And they might have someone come into their life who, they don't have to be a Capricorn, but the devil is Capricorn energy, but anybody can harness shadowy Capricorn energy. Some of these people do look like they have, these things of the world, that it looks like their dreams are coming into reality, that they have justice in the world. They might look like a shining star in a lot of ways in the world, in some way, shape and form, based on whatever status of life they're in. And they might have some people who come into their life, though, who are coming into their life to teach them a lesson. Just like when loving people get in a relationship with people like that, it teaches them a lesson about love. and that loving people are going to stand up for themselves and believe in themselves and probably leave them if they keep having this attitude. On the other hand, they might have people come into their life who come into their life to teach them a lesson where it's like, I'm willing to be in a relationship with you because I too think I'll be happy making my life about these things like you do. But I might be like you. So I too might have had people in my life that tried to love and encourage me to grow and mature and heal myself. And no, I decided not to go with them. But you seem to be on the same page as me. So, this would be good for my ego and my image and my status. And you seem like your dreams are going to come into reality. Yeah, I'll be in a relationship with you. But then they might be in a relationship with someone who isn't indulging them, that might have some of the similar issues that also wants to be indulged. And then we have two people that are either all about money and materialism, and so long as that makes them happy, then they're in a matched, balanced relationship for them. If they're more fearful and insecure and kind of want to repeat this pattern of being defensive, and the other person's happy being in a relationship with them being that way because maybe they're that way themselves, then they're both happy. It's just that it's maybe not a relationship based on love. Could be a relationship based more on the fear or the insecurity or the codependency or the indulgence of whatever it is that they're indulging in. If that's money or ego or whatever other vice they have. And they're in an appropriately matched relationship, and that can make them happy. It's just that the other people want an authentic, warm, loving, just and fair and balanced relationship where people have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, and people are making good decisions in the relationship because they're very mature people, and both of them have self-discipline where they're not indulging their more shadowy way of being. And the people in shadowy energy are indulging themselves in their shadowy way of being. And if someone who found someone to indulge them, well, then they could think they're living the dream. Look, I found someone who is defensive to believing in their dreams. They're willing to defend me. They're happy as a clam. If they get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, if they're both materialistically motivated, that's just going to be the underlying factor that they're both more about indulging themselves in those things. But it really doesn't have to do maybe with love. So I just think they can look exactly the same in a way by outer appearances in the world. It's just that one is a much more emotionally mature, stable, balanced, abundant in a lot of ways, where the other one might be more abundant in worldly things, but more about ego than love. So, teach their own. There you go, Aquarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.